and welcome. This is your GM in the Great Barrier. Welcome in, brave souls, to another game of Star Trek Adventures Aegis. Today we are on Project Panic Part 2. Before we get started, quick recognition and thanks for our special guest stars from the Broken Sword game. That would be Caligo and Cheesy. Today they're respectively playing Tali Shikaris and Tavashi Chikaris and the Andorian twins. You can find them both, of course, on the Broken Sword game, which airs Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. In Caligo's case, there's a new Monday night tabletop streaming game going, as well as some Final Fantasy XIV, if I'm not mistaken.
The Final Fantasy stuff is what I've just been dragged into against my will.
Any words on the tabletop campaign? Anything you'd want to say for the uninitiated?
If you're a weeb, you might enjoy it. There you go.
Completely fair. I encourage the Venn diagram of weebs and Star Trek Adventures fans here. Go check them out. Monday nights at 6:30, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. Yes.
There was mention of something else I know that came up. Cheesy, did have in mind what you wanted to say there?
So I just got recently accepted, I would say about a few days ago, to an alpha test for a one-man project. He started this about 6 months ago, and he's been doing everything himself. At a certain point, he had to reject a Patreon for copyright reasons, but he has taken the whole World of Warcraft engine and is turning it completely into RuneScape, using the World of Warcraft engine to create RuneScape for a more for a better feel for the game. Instead of having that top-down waiting there, you're more interactive with it, and it's using all the World of Warcraft assets for it.
Link in the description of this video here. So, we've come into our adventure today, Project Panic. It's a slightly stranger start relative to what we've been doing in most cases, insofar as the focus has been completely on the Aegis and completely on its lower decks crew, very specifically the ensigns and equivalent ranks that you see before you here. The last adventure technically started in the mess hall, where you had a very difficult meal to deal with. The true initial incident of the whole thing came up just earlier in the day for you in the science lab, where you were all, for various reasons, finding yourselves in the science lab investigating some leftover equipment and projects from a former crewman of the vessel, a Vulcan scientist by the name of Soral. For most of you, I would expect you are new to the ship, so you don't know entirely what happened to him. There's multiple rumors. Really, Ensign Stewart is the most knowledgeable of the bunch here, and even
I've been sworn to silence.
Yeah,
And
presuming
I don't know much either.
Yeah. But at least one of those bits of equipment proved to be troublesome. You were setting up what seemed to be a routine test with some of the Xyrelian beads you had from the previous year's encounter with an Ithonite freighter. Those that had been known to cause mass hallucination when there was some sort of overload in the laser system and something kind of blew up, pulsed out, whatever the case was. The result was that you were all knocked unconscious for a moment. When you came to, you found that although you were all able to talk to each other fairly well, you were not able to engage with anyone else, or indeed anything else, it seems, besides what is immediately on your person. Whatever explosion occurred, and it seems to have particularly centered around a module that contained a box, a seemingly empty box, with a basically a bright violet light inside and some sort of active energy field. Something there seems to have pulsed out a wave of light radiation, and it has, for lack of a better term, rendered you incorporeal to the world around you. You can still walk on the floors for some reason, but you find that you are passing through solid objects, through other people, or people are passing through you. They are completely unaware of your presence. After working out that you were more likely than not, you worked out that you are probably not dead and ghosts, so that is at least a scientific explanation you are frowning upon at the moment. You did get one clue to your current state, and that came in the form of a miniature robot that came inside and extracted an item you had previously not seen in the one powered module. It is a small junk-like robot, or cobbled together from various spare parts, that seems to function despite itself, and only greets you with the word derivative. And I need to mute one of my Roll20 tabs, so let's try that again. Derivative. There we go. I think it's just picking up an echo somewhere. Anyway, the robot has led you all to main engineering, where, unaware to the rest of the command crew that are presently inside the ship, you have arrived in the engine room, where you followed the robot, and you discovered one Dr. Actually, I don't think he's given you the credential yet. You just know him as Bogda Nar Kalag, a Tellarite scientist and apparently ill-fated former partner of crewman Soral. And he has established the following, which the GM will just do in character. See, there's a scene trait in progress right now, and that is a positive phase shift. We all have a 0.05 phase shift relative to our immediate biomass and the biofields around us, the result of which is that we are separate from their reality, in a sense. We can pass through objects and through people, although thankfully artificial gravity and inertial dampeners are still wide-ranging enough to keep us contained and from simply falling through the ship or having it warp away from us without any sort of recourse or way to stop it. I've been like this for years, but I have a way out, and it involves the machine that my robot has pulled out from the last session. And that's basically where we are at the start of this. I'm going to say that that dialogue is stuff he has just restated in scene, and it does lead some of you to possibly question his sanity. So that the phase shift scene trait is in effect for all of you. It has various implications we can get into. I will say that there have been 2 spends at the top of the game here as further bookkeeping, or housekeeping rather. As further housekeeping, one of them was a grant momentum spend, so the crew now has 2 points of momentum in their pool instead of 1. The other one was to decrease the difficulty, and the person who spent it was generous enough to designate it specifically for Ensign Steward's next task, to give you an easier time.
Hooray!
So, with all that, the 5 of you are here as the mini-bot is dragging out the machine that Calag is saying is supposedly going to be your salvation.
So what you're saying is you can stop being ghosts.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. I can bring us back to the land of the living, if you will. But it's not going to be easy. Though it is much easier now that I have the extra hands and devices. Speaking of, I'll need a few more devices here.
What exactly do you plan on doing to undo it all? Exactly.
Of course, I can explain. See, we are presently experiencing a positive phase shift of the 0.05% nature. What we need to do is adjust it back to a corrected form. Thus, I have built what I am calling the negative phase inversion pulse device. This can emit the necessary corrective phase adjustment to bring us back to reality as we know it. I have been working on it for years.
Do you mind if I give it a look over?
Oh, you can right now, but it's not finished. The key problems is that it lacks power and some processing capability. Particularly for the processors for the control bit. But please look it over if you wish. So, Steward, you may make a... Because this is a very strange device, I was going to originally rule this would require a reason plus, I was going to say engineering originally at a difficulty 4, with the possibility to allow science at a difficulty 5, after Craig's after the spend for to reduce the difficulty. Let me try that again. After the spend to reduce the difficulty, however, those tasks are now either a difficulty 3 reason plus engineering or a difficulty 4 reason plus science.
I'll do science. Do any of my focuses matter? Atmospheric science, stellar atmospheric science. I'm sure xenobotany and xenoanthropology don't apply here.
I think that this is a little too experimental for even your tastes here.
That's fine. I'm gonna spend a momentum if you guys don't mind.
Do it.
Oh God. And then so here we go.
Okay, that is 3 successes, so just a little shy of what you need.
I'm gonna re-roll the last one because I have cautious science.
Very good. Okay, that gives you 4 successes. By the way, this does count as an activation, and as one other very special thing we are doing for this particular episode of the Aegis, whereas I allowed you to add the characters during the... usually it's once per adventure. In this case, because it is focused on the lower decks, you get a once per session activation.
Nice.
So you may add something else at your leisure there, Panda. Same will go for the rest of you, of course, so at least think about what you might want.
I'll figure it out later.
Yep. Alright, so with that, 1 point of momentum is down, but you do succeed completely at the task after that re-roll. So Steward, a quick scan of the device here seems to suggest that it is built entirely out of similarly scavenged parts, but with a good bit more engineering work done. There appears to be some regular, the parts of this that are complete seem to involve mainly the superstructure, some material that has been jury-rigged into something that could sustain a plasma system, basically. Some other processing units throughout that are probably intended to keep things stabilized, and most significantly, material that has been formed into a coil at the heart of the device. If you had to guess, if this device were properly powered, it would definitely need, this coil would be the main responsible element here, as far as what it emits. Though, speaking of emission, you don't really see anything that seems to be an exterior emitter of some sort. You also note it is missing. Oh, it seems to be missing a power supply of any significant type. Though there are slots that seem to connect into the plasma grade system, so something that could handle basically electroplasma, but doesn't presently have any in it. There's also like a clear front segment that is meant for like a control system that is missing a lot of equipment right now. It doesn't have the handy dandy keypad.
Right. Any minor concerns, because this guy's crazy, and I am currently having a mildly nervous breakdown. I'm still of far coherent sense. So, is there any bad math that would get us killed already on this thing so far?
Well, you'd be straining to understand just because it's so outside of the field, you'd be straining to understand exactly what he's going for, so anything seems risky. If you want to spend the momentum to obtain information, I can point out a little bit more of what would be dangerous or difficult, or the risks as you see it. Or could see it.
Fair. What was that talent that Drone's character had, where he could get two for the price of one when it came to knowledge?
I think that you are thinking of Studious.
Yeah, I'll add Studious. So yes, I will already pay for it for this.
Okay.
Because I think I played Steward pretty well.
So let's see. I'm double checking Professor Patel's sheet on this just to make certain that I have. Yeah.
Sorry, John, if you're hearing this. It's just been a long week and I forgot. I can barely remember names right now.
Completely fair. So, whenever you spend one or more momentum to obtain information, you may ask one additional question. So that, with your last point of momentum, you can gain that answer there. And I'll go ahead and take that. So, your first question would be, let's see, sorry. First question would be, what would be the, what is a danger or risk that seems to come with this?
Yeah.
Okay, so there are two major risks I think that you can identify right now, or very big unknowns that leave some heavy questioning. The first of these would be the fact that the plasma system, or the absence of the plasma system, that seems like it's really dangerous to not. I mean, since he doesn't seem to have it right now, and you don't know how it could connect to the ship, the idea that you would somehow need to acquire plasma in some way to feed into this device seems like it would be risky, especially given the size of the slots where supposedly those nodes would interact. That's just generally not a fun idea or fun time. The absence of the emitter seems, well, it doesn't seem dangerous, but it seems very questionable. You're not certain how whether the coil is actually capable of, even with that amount of power, you're not certain how the field it would create, or rather how it could even extend out to create a field of any considerable size. You just don't understand enough about this device to know those things, but that seems troublesome. So that's one question there. Do you have a second?
How well would it hold up upon activation? If we got all the pieces, like would it just fall apart within seconds? Does it seem sturdy enough?
It definitely has the feel of like you don't want it running indefinitely, but the way that it's put together through scraps and gumption, I would say that it might last long enough for your purposes.
She'll say, well, as you said, there's a lot of missing pieces still, but do we really need this much plasma intake? And I don't know what even this would do exactly. She points to the coil.
Well, that's gonna generate the field, of course. Or it'll generate the phase inversion pulse. The field's a little more tricky, but don't worry, I've got the ideas for that, he says, wagging a finger. The key trick is to get the plasma to actually power the thing. Minibot, bring the cylinders. The robot goes back through the wall as it rolls away.
Directive.
Okay, hang on. Whoa. Just slow down a little bit. Can you stop your minibot?
It follows my orders to a T.
I know. Can you stop it, please?
I'll stop it when it comes back with the cylinders, he says, gesturing a hand to the wall it just passed through. Minibot does not return at the time.
Okay. So, she looks back to the rest of the crew. This requires a whole lot of plasma to intake, and either I don't think even the cylinders of plasma will last that long enough, and even if it does, I'm worried about the amount of energy conversion required for it. Because, yeah, that's a lot. It's either going to really work or it's going to be a really big bomb.
Hey, that's what I thought when I saw the engine for the first time.
It still needs a few things, though. It needs an emitter. It needs a console at all. Otherwise, we can't regulate the power or the emission, whatever, if it can at all. I don't even know if this coil will actually do what you want or just fall apart. If it does it at all. What else am I missing? Exact console, emitter,
and the power source.
And it needs a more sturdy power source than just cylinders.
Well, once the plasma cylinder's connected to it, then that'll give it all the power it needs to circulate through. I've been working on this thing for years. I know what I'm doing with this. Minibot walks back through with what appeared to be several meter-and-a-half long cylinders of, I'd say, translucent material. But they appear to be empty and cold.
There's nothing in them.
Well, yeah, that's what I need your help with.
Plasma.
Yes, we're going to get plasma into them. So, do you want to know how you can help me and Minibot? Well, at least me anyway. I only have this plan for biomass. But Minibot will perform the task to a T, and with your help, it can be done much more efficiently.
Directive.
And hopefully alive. Yeah, sure. If everyone else is up for it.
I'm starting to trust Minibot. He's got good energy.
Its face is, like, engulfed by the large red light as it angles towards you, Tavashi.
Directive.
Look at him. You can't say no to that.
Dude, Minibot's pretty awesome.
I mean, it doesn't seem like we have a lot of choices here, so...
Not if you want to make it back to the same phase reality as your former crew. No. So, here's what we need to do in order to power the coil. We need to get plasma through. What I've been working on with some of the scrapped material, I've been able to use what little equipment I've had to work some of these into a sort of high-grade cylinder that should be able to serve as a stable containment vessel. These cylinders, much like us, are out of phase, but when we expose it to the EPS grid, some of the passing plasma should take on the same phase characteristics as it passes through the cylinders. Thus, it will steadily actually store the plasma in its tubes, and it would be in a usable phase for us to be able to engage with it. So we would be able to siphon just enough for what we need. It would be a tricky task just for Minibot to perform, since he would, once they are actually prepared, he has a storage module that will allow him to safely carry the cylinders. Minibot will pop out, like, basically the equivalent of cup holders that would at least store the base of it. So, what would happen is, using these handy-dandy manipulators, he says, which basically he has, like, extended clamps and tongs on a kind of, like, something easily longer than arm's length. I would need some of you to carry these and make sure that the tube is in the proper place to take on the plasma, sticking it directly into the EPS grid, and then filling each of the cylinders. I only need 4 of them to properly function, but the best chance, and with the material I have on hand, we have 6 cylinders, so there is room for some redundancy. Any questions so far? I don't know if all of you are the science-y types or engineering types.
I'm more of a doctor.
Well, I'm certainly understood some of the words you were saying.
Yes. Well, some of you can at least serve as extra hands then for this part of the task. I've been running some thought experiments completely in my head on this one, and I believe that the only way that you're going to be able to extract plasma of sufficient quantity is to move towards the outer deck, and particularly to where the EPS grid attaches to the exterior warp pylon, and place it in from there. Anywhere else in the EPS grid, and that means that they might just divert the power if they notice a slight dip in flow. But an active warp engine, that should have plenty there.
it also, I'm not much of a warp engineer, but I also know that it needs to be consistent or there's problems with the engine.
There's only
Right.
very slight risk of creating a plasma imbalance that might cause turbulence. Really, I'd be more careful with the cylinders in that case because, well, I don't want any of them fracturing. They might take it out of here.
Was Tavashi okay? Who do we have in our team? We have a doctor, a security. What was the other twin?
Tally's an engineer.
Okay,
Yes.
Tally. Does
Yes,
this make any sense? It seems safe for both the ship and us.
Safe? Options? No other choice.
See, she gets it. And it's extra impressive
Okay.
because it's an Andorian.
Why you little? There's no, you know what? There's no sport in beating up someone half starved.
Go Team Blue.
Okay, how are we getting the computer parts?
Oh, well, that's easy. I'll just well, I was originally going to use the bar of the rare earth minerals to synthesize my own processor components. Figure I could have gotten that done within, 7 or 8 months. But since you've conveniently brought along other scanners, if some of you just hand over some of your equipment, I can get that properly jury-rigged into something else. I could use the help with that, but not all of you need to be there for the plasma.
And the emitter?
Oh, don't you worry about that. I've already got that idea well in hand. But I think that in order to give us the best chance on the control system, I would need 2 or 3 of the any sort of scanning, communication, or other devices that you have on hand. They have the sufficient grade of circuitry for me to be able to work those into something usable for the control system. Also, that's correct me if I'm wrong, you use energy hand weapons, do you not? He addresses you, Hector.
Yes.
Well, if that thing has a full power cell, I can use that in particular to make sure that the control device has an independent supply that would allow me to ramp up the plasma intermix at a proper level. If you're okay with that, of course.
I'm not entirely sure.
Well,
Lieutenant Chira said if I lose my weapon, I get spaced. And she looked like she meant it. So... I will not get spaced.
well, I suppose I can use the power cells from the scanners, just a little less efficient. Suit yourself. That'll just bring us down from an 85 to roughly 60% chance of success.
I can talk with Lieutenant Commander Shira, and it's fine, Hector.
Are you sure?
As sure as I can be, unless you want to remain a ghost.
I mean, if I stop being a ghost and I get spaced, I'm a ghost again. So, I don't know.
Oh, don't be silly. You'll be frozen the entire time. You can't be frozen.
I'm
and a
not
ghost.
sure that helps. Listen, Shira's really scary, okay? It's all I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, I know. I know. Just, she offers her hand.
Fine. Hand over the face pistol.
I'll work on the console the rest you can break down of who works on the plasma and who works on the emitter.
Guess I can help with the plasma, probably.
All right. Thanks for volunteering to help me, Hector.
If you just need some hands, I've got 2 of them.
It'll
Let's hope you
be
keep 2 of them.
at least you two plus the mini bot.
Directive.
All right.
All right.
Tavashi, can you go with your sister to make sure, she doesn't pull a her?
Wow.
You're talking about my sister like she's reckless and gung ho and is willing to avoid safety. Yeah, I'll go with her. What type of equipment do you need again?
Well, I just need 3 of you to give me a scanner or communicator, which I would hope is standard equipment among your ilk.
If I can keep my medical scanner, I can give you my communicator. Would that be fair?
I'll take that.
I mean, you took my weapon. You can get my scanner as well, I suppose.
Oh, good. I suppose that since you're a security type, I don't need you for much else than equipment and meat.
Speaking
GM,
of, what have you been eating here?
You don't remember that the phase has done things to me. I have been in a sort of stasis this whole time. I cannot eat, I cannot drink, but I have no physiological need. And yet, on some level, I thirst. I hunger.
All the better to make sure we get out of here. So, off you go.
I haven't slept in years!
Yeah.
I can't close my eyes. The light goes right through it.
Yep, he gets up in, like, your personal space, and you see the darkest of circles beneath his eyes that have sub-dark circles of their own.
I thought that's just Tellarite.
That most of us don't sleep enough. We spend time arguing late into the hours.
Yeah, I know how that feels.
Alright.
Should we get the plasma?
Yes,
Get going.
go bring back the plasma, and as much of yourselves as you can.
Stewart just starts using the tools that he has around to start trying to take apart these scanners and tricorders and just make something out of it.
Yep.
On the way out, Hector turns to the twins and as they leave, the last thing you hear, I don't know if he hears it, but it's like, so he's insane, right?
Yep. As all of you pass through the doors. Or walls, whichever way you take.
We're probably still used to using doors, so
Yep.
Doors are just polite.
Look, we can't afford the phase through animation so many times, all right?
have to wait until someone walks through the door so they open, and then we can slip through.
Yep. I will temporarily NPC Xanter for a moment. Yes, well, good idea, good thinking, Ensign. While they're doing this, I will stay here in case you need any medical assistance.
I would like for you to use your expertise and help. She kind of just motions slightly with her head towards the Tellarite to make sure everyone is physically capable of the transition, sir.
I don't know whether this is a little outside of my field of expertise, Ensign. But I'll do what I can.
She's whispered very quietly. The guy is nuts, and I just want to see how nuts he is, and if there's anything else, we could probably sedate him or something. I don't know. Just
Yep.
Just make sure he's not going to try to eat me or anyone else.
Yep. You both glance over at him at the same time as let's see, he has so he has Tavashi's communicator, Alvarez scanner. Did anyone else leave a third bit of equipment or volunteer bit?
I'm still probably a deck up, so
Yeah, Mora's not yet in scene. Anyway, I'll just say that with the equipment that has been handed over to him, and I guess he did take Xanter's medical scanner as well, but with Hector's Hector's scanner and Tavashi's communicator, he just licks them and then starts trying to pull the casing apart. Xanter very noticeably squirming. I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. And maybe you can talk him into handing me those over so I can work on this.
Oh, if you so wish. He puts on the best face that he can and walks over, though he'll still give the Tellarite about 6 feet of space.
Yep. Go ahead and jump the other crew. I'm
Yeah.
just doing my own thing.
Yeah. We'll rejoin you guys in a moment.
Yeah.
For the rest of the crew, with Minibot in tow and discussing the uncomfortable facts around this, you find that there is one very slight complication with the scheme that you have, and that is the actual connections to the connections to the ship, or rather to the warp pylon or the exterior pylons. That bit of the EPS grid is a deck up, and as you've discovered, going through the ceiling, much like the floor, very difficult proposition. Minibot, it seems, has been programmed to account for this and simply goes over to a turbo lift and then waits for a moment. So you get the opportunity to stand about for a moment. We'll say just outside a lift here. Render those people invisible and bring you guys over to the right scene. Let's see. Sorry, just copying and pasting everyone in. Okay. Sorry, just taking one moment while I get everyone up to size and to the correct location. So, make you all visible. Alright, so you are all waiting just outside this this lift as you wait for someone to come down. But yeah, any words you wish to share amongst you may do so with the plasma tubes in tow and Minibot alongside you. Anything you'd want to do right now?
So I say it's 50-50 that we get blown up. No?
A bit better in our odds.
You think?
70-30. 60-40.
If we do get blown up, since we're out of phase, does it harm the ship, or will we just explode and nobody will know?
Good question. Guess what? Let's hope no one else is in the blast radius.
I mean, the explosion would also be out of phase, I suppose.
True, but who knows what it might do to the ship components.
You know what else is kind of weird? Haven't really seen much panic over us being disappeared.
What has disappeared?
Us?
Come again?
We disappeared. There's not much panic on the other side. Like, we're gone.
I mean, not to
Tragic
mention it.
work accident.
I feel like this happens too much.
As you say that, the lift actually opens up, as there's also footsteps coming from the opposite end of the hall. The door opens, and Lieutenant Melnyuk is there, and she just says, "Ah, there you are."
What?
Wait
What?
a minute. And as all of you chime in with that,
Directive.
Chief, how are those fires? How's the damage control coming? Fernier walks just from behind you and says, "Well, Lieutenant, we're doing everything we can to keep things contained. I think that we can avoid worrying about any further power spikes there. Unfortunately, still no sign of the others, at least in the local vicinity. I don't suppose you've had any luck on the bridge. I've been running every internal scan I can think of. No signs of any sort of transport of any residual type. There's biosigns not being picked up across the ship. We'd certainly notice that we're down 2 out of our 3 Endorians now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was going to take some more specialized scanning equipment there. Yeah, I'll just let you figure that out. That way we can provide some assurance to the captain and, most importantly, have some idea of what happened to them. Right. You do that. I'm going to check some of the secondary EPS relays on the deck up there, so best of luck, Lieutenant. Chief? And Melnyuk will proceed to immediately walk through Hector.
Ah,
God.
And then the
damn.
chief...
I really got my hopes up there.
Yep. The chief passes through Tavashki and Hector as he steps into the turbo lift.
God damn it!
What does it look like?
Why
What
is
does it look
always
like
me?
in there, I asked.
Minibot will step into the turbo lift as Fernier crosses over the threshold, and just flashes its face light at all of you.
Directive.
Oh, right. I'll just jump behind quickly.
Yep. So he takes you.
Go on, get on.
I'm getting on. I'm just worried.
Yep. So, let's see. Yeah, Fernier just inputs the controls and looks around for a moment. Hello, my honey. Hello, my baby. Hello, my ragtime gal. Damn, that's so catchy now. I cannot get that out of my head. So long as Crichton's not here, I'm all in the clear.
Can a
Yes.
scanner record?
Well, one of you probably still has a communicator that could do that, and I think the scanner
Yeah.
literally could do that. I mean, the scanner is what it evolves into is literally the tricorder, which has recording function.
Oh, I'm totally getting a
Yeah.
his time music.
Yep.
This is super creepy.
No, it's funny.
I like to call this blackmail.
The turbo lift takes you to the deck upwards, and the 5 of you, although 4 are only in truth working together, open the door, and I think it would be most amusing if a certain somebody were alerted enough to have their weapon out. Would that be fair, Mora?
Look, this is a pretty crazy situation, because, nobody can see me. I've realized I'm in some kind of state. I don't believe I'm dead because I haven't seen my body, although I haven't ruled that out.
Phaser shit.
Yep.
But yeah, this is some crazy shit. So yeah, I am assuming maybe this might be some kind of attack on the ship. I'm not ruling that out. So yeah, I'm packing and
Question:
waiting
Would you
by
like to
the
spend?
list.
Would you like to spend the escalation cost and give me the threat to have your particle rifle?
I think that's done.
Very
God
good.
damn it. Sorry.
So
I had to feed the monster. That was for Minibot, buddy. That was for Minibot.
yeah. So as the turbolift door opens, and you see a bunch of crew in there, you see a robot that is also there that doesn't look like anything that should be on the ship, and that's as much of what seems to be a threat as anything. So what do you do?
Okay. Well, I'm not going to shoot the bot immediately because there are other crewmen in there.
Although you've
but
passed
I
through
am...
people, so it's
You pass through people like crazy.
Yep.
Okay, my question is though, are these people do they look like they're like me, or do they look like they're people I'm just passing through?
I mean, they look like people.
Yeah, you can't really
You
tell
know,
whether they're on a face.
chill-
It is weird that one of them, I think Tally or Tavashi, one of the two Andorians here, is like very close up to Chief Fernier and recording them. But the only thing you can definitively say is the bit about the robot.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm just
sure.
going to assume I can phase through Ensign Hector Alvarez, Tishavi, and the others, and I see that robot, and it could be the threat or the origin of that, because I know there's nothing like that on the ship, because, everybody would know the little robot. So I guess I move right through them, because I want to get myself on the side of this little robot, and I assume I would have picked up, possibly I have whatever scanners the Makos carry on them,
Yeah.
and I would assume, given our posting, we have something like that, given all the weird shit that tends to happen
Yes,
on
absolutely.
Modiphius.
You would have it would still be military issued, but you get it scanned.
Yes, because
So-
our captain loves us Makos.
Yeah.
So I'm moving right through them. I'm assuming
Or
everybody
trying
is
to anyway.
out of-
As
Yeah.
you kind of move, like you move towards moving through Hector, he just he looks straight at you. Oh, here we go again, and he closes his eyes and kind of like.
Yeah, I mean, well, and then at this point though, she's moving full force because this little robot could be the problem. So I guess I'm heading right to here, an open space between our engineer guy and the robot, so I can get the drop on this little bot and scan it. So this is going to be hilarious
you
because I'm
crash.
moving right through the PCs there.
You crash rifle first into Hector, finding that he is a much more solid object than anyone else you have encountered to this point.
And I had my eyes closed, being expecting to be walked through again.
Instead,
No,
bulldozed over.
You get prodded
And
in the
she
chest
assumed
hard.
You were, yeah. He gets hit pretty hard.
Oh no, Hector goes down. It's like he was just expecting to be walked through, and he just gets just shoved in from the front. It's just like he just falls over.
And she's completely shocked as she gets kind of over to the position she wants, but probably not exactly where she wanted because of, Hector's presence there. I'm probably partially in the chief and looking shocked. The gun is pointed at the little bot, but I'm looking over at Hector with a shocked look.
What the hell?
I
What the
jumped
hell?
on the mini bot.
What the
That's
hell?
what I said.
You can
Somebody
see
just-
us?
You can see me?
Directive.
Don't shoot Minibot.
Yes.
Do not shoot me while we need that thing.
Okay, I'll put the gun
You can
back
see
down.
us.
And I'll reach out and touch one of them. I'll whoever's probably the tally, because she's closest to me. I'll just touch to see if she's solid.
Yep.
Careful, I think one of them is sticky, but I don't know which one.
The hand extends through
Wow.
Chief Fernier and makes contact with Tally's arm.
You're real.
How'd you get out of phase? What the?
Well, I was helping some engineers move some equipment, and they wanted me to watch it while they're bringing some more stuff up. I was over by some power conduits near some of the one of the research rooms. One of the sealed ones, and yeah.
I will say Minibot is starting to walk away, as is Chief Fernier.
Ah, shit. We'll talk about this on the way.
Okay.
Yeah, follow the bot.
Follow the bot.
Scrambles
I didn't
back
know
up.
we had a bot.
Yep.
It's not ours.
Oh yeah, we've had
As
a
you.
we've had a Tellarite living on our ship for actual years out of phase.
Seriously?
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what he said.
Wow.
I mean, he looks the part.
What if they
How
just
do you-
look like that?
How do you look aged if you're in stasis?
I mean, you can still move your hair. It's not exactly going to stay perfect. Still get grimy.
Says to you. My hair's gonna stay perfect.
That's because my hair isn't 90% plastic.
Ooh. Ooh. Ow.
Oh, I'm
Sacrifices
sensing
for fashion.
thought bubble. I'm sensing some sibling tension here, because everybody would know about the Andorian twins.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay, some guy living here in stasis. Is this connected to Soral's old research? Because everything weird that happens around here, it's often connected to Soral. And my character can say that. My character has been around for all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I feel attacked.
It was intentional.
I know.
He was talking about a Romulan guy. Was he Romulan?
No, Vulcan.
Vulcan.
Oh, they're the same
He was
thing.
our acting science officer for much. A very
Well.
smart guy.
Tavashi, you
I'm not-
suddenly have the worst of headaches. And you don't know why.
That frequency.
Anyways.
Didn't we have some Tellurites that we dealt with, and she's thought bubbling about Tellurites that they met, and that rings a bell somehow. Okay.
I mean, he's completely insane, I think, but he says he has a way out.
And he built the bot.
Yes. It's his bot.
Okay.
It's mini bot.
It's mini bot.
Yeah, I think we're keeping it.
Definitely keeping it.
I'll have to back that from the Mako perspective.
So,
Okay, so we're out of phase. That explains everything. Somehow the gravitic systems in the floors and ceilings seem to make it a little harder to go through. You have to take turbo lifts.
Yeah, I think that's what the guy said. Like the gravity and the dampness, the thingy dampness. What are they called again?
Inertia.
Yes, those
Okay.
guys.
So what's the plan? Because, we've got science and engineering here. I assume you guys have control of the situation.
oh, would you...
We are.
Sorry to interrupt. Would you guys care for the, basically the rest of the update to come, like, out of scene? And just say, don't worry, we have a plan here? 'Cause-
Yeah, that works. That works.
Don't
I was
worry.
about to say we have no idea what's happening. He's either going to blow us up or get us out of here.
Yep.
Don't worry, we have a plan. We just need to collect highly volatile plasma.
Okay.
Directive.
Let me
And
know.
give
when
it to a mentally unstable individual.
No, she trusts the twins because she's only had good experiences with Andorians, or her indirect boss, chief of security and first officer is an Andorian. So
See, I'm not sure I trust the twins, and that's purely because of the twins.
Wow.
Wow.
Unjustified? Question mark?
So
so if they weren't twins, you would trust them. Good, excellent.
Shira is your direct boss twice over. Is your direct and indirect boss.
Right. So
Yeah.
she's had nothing but good experience.
If you make me look bad.
Yeah.
She loves Shira. She thinks Shira's a good boss. And of course, the Cap loves the Makos.
Yep.
So
That's what we call preferential treatment.
So, as Minibot wheels down the corridor towards a section of the ship nearer the engine pylons, back in engineering, the aforementioned mentally unstable individual is working at trying to pry the components apart and directs you to do as much, Seward. Xantar is still being rather standoffish for reasons you haven't fully sussed out. But it kind of, for the moment, it leaves you...
Don't care right now. Focusing on trying to get out of here, trying to do the job right, trying to get everybody killed.
Yep.
Trying to make sure that anything that the crazy man does, that it is still safe and not just further crazy.
Yeah. Oh, first thing we're gonna need to do is extract the core components of these devices, strip down the casing. Are you any good with difficulty 1 control plus engineering kind of task?
I certainly am. Yes.
Then you do that, and I'll assist you on that. Good chance to get that momentum going, isn't it?
Yep. I can certainly do that. All right.
If Pete was here, I think as a doctor, he would be very concerned that the meta sickness can actually face jump.
Yep. It further...
I'm going to use my termination here, just so we can immediately get some extra focus in here. Suck up and do your job.
Copy that.
Or stop. Okay, stop yelling at me. And no, you're not yelling at me. So yeah, suck up and do your job.
Okay. So going for the auto crit. All right. Well, while Caligo is no help, that is at least 2 successes, and I'm presuming the determination was tapped for the automatic critical success. Would that be right?
Yes,
Panda?
it is.
Okay.
Yes.
So
that's
then,
fine.
yep, your 2
You got
successes.
You got 3. Yep.
Well, your 2 plus the auto crit means a total of 4 successes, which means 3 points of momentum.
Yes.
So let's see.
I got it.
Oh, copy that. So, yeah, as you are prying open scanners and communicators, all the devices that you have, starting to lay out the, set aside some of the crucial processing components, he'll look over his work and just kind of scratch at his beard a bit. I've seen you a few times before. You've been around that Soral a little bit yourself, haven't you?
Only because I was ordered to, and he was a pretty good genius, if a little crazy in his own way.
The most unorganized research partner I've ever worked with. Or if there is organization to it, it was on a logic all of its own.
Kind of how most of those sort of super intellectuals kind of are. She says, she has seen my academy, seen the professors in the academy, she said.
I much prefer my researchers with a lick of sense, he says, as he licks a bit of discarded casing and tosses it to the side.
Okay. Can you stop doing that? Please? That's freaking me out a little bit. It's already yours. It's not going anywhere. You don't need to lick it.
Oh. Very well.
Then she goes back to her job.
Yep.
She just like doesn't wait for him to answer, just goes back to working.
Yep.
She is doing it. Hastily, like with some speed, but as carefully as possible.
I wasn't here for... Well, I wasn't in places where I could see what happened. What... Do you know what actually became of him?
Not really.
I get there are hushed voices everywhere, and something about the... Something to do with a great machine that was talked about, and even some big incident in subspace that came by. If anyone somehow blunders their way into that, I'm sure it'd be him.
All I know is that there's a lot of down respect for Soral. Past tense, I suppose. Or present tense. It's a little weird.
Guess that's the main thing I was wondering. Whether he actually made it, or if he's... everything got put away from that lab as if I don't know. I still have some hard feelings about the situation, but I guess it would have helped to know whether he'd made it or not.
And if he did?
Well,
can you pass that? I imagine that's a spanner. I'm hoping that's a spanner. It looks like something else, but I think it's a spanner.
It's a multi-tool that has a spanner function, he says as he hands it to you. But
what did you make it out of? You know what? I don't care. Just go back to work.
Just bear in mind, that's mine.
Yes. You probably like this, didn't you? You know what? Yes, it's yours.
Yep. He says, "Now, when I get back, if I find him, I'm insisting that he gives me top line on the paper we write about this." I mean, I've already written the paper in my head several times over.
I'm sure.
The top agencies won't even need a revision. That being said, I guess if this does work, if you want, you can be on that paper too.
Are you going to send it through Starfleet first or through the Tellarite Science Academy? She smiles.
I'll send it where I please, and whoever will publish and appropriately compensate me for this effort and duress. That might be another thing. I might sue Soral if he's still out here.
Well, I'm sure he would. You know what? I don't know what he'd be like. Probably just defer that it's not his fault at all or something. As like most superior officers, she says under her breath.
Can't trust the military. That bunch is crazy, he says as his eyes go wider.
It seems like everyone is a bit militaristic these days. I was just here for exploration. Overall, science, that it wouldn't affect me or disintegrate me or do a whole bunch of classified missions would be nice. I thought this would be another chance for that, but here I am.
Well, here you are about to perform some truly brilliant feats of engineering and science.
Or atomize everyone into a non-existence even further than we were before.
Oh, I'm pretty positive that we shouldn't generate a further negative shift, and even if we did, it would only it wouldn't make us any more well, it shouldn't shift us any further out from the we should still be able to interact in a sense with this plane. Just take longer.
She just like stops working and sits up a bit more straighter. There's only two problems. There's only two ways that this thing would actually function that I can think of in a more basic sense. One is that it removes the whatever phase radiation that is currently affecting us and results into pushing us back to our normal level as sort of like a vacuum or a magnet to all the extra particles that are currently on us and preventing us from that. Or the coil, from what I'm guessing, could also be used as a more positive inverter, sort of like demagnetizing. Are the particles are affecting us and hopefully would push us or shove us in the right direction. One of those possibly could work, or let's say pull more particles towards out of us and put us in a whole new, if not more dangerous level of phase. Or the other one will just flip it around and push us even like say like a bad tumultuous wave, shove us, and we're just guessing about if we're end up in the right phase at all.
Oh, very, very clever, he says, with a smile. Thankfully, I've already calculated the necessary phase inversion that will get us back to our reality, and I can assure you we will have the necessary negative phase inversion to compensate for the field that afflicts us all. The coil will work, I am sure of it.
She just like there's a more displeased grimace as he just basically confirms it's the non-vacuum options part. It's B, not A. Great. Well, then these controls need to be precise. Then.
Oh yeah, and we need to start getting things connected here. In a moment you'll get ready to give me another task, but we'll have to wait until the next scene passes.
What? She says that's just switch over the next scene.
Meanwhile, in the corridor, meanwhile, in the corridor, the crew, or the rest of the crew, has made it over to the segment near where the main line out to the pylons that connect to the warp nacelles. You have arrived in position. You have two sets of tongs, 6 cylinders of a sort of semi-translucent material. As best as it has been laid out, you need to place the tubes through the through the part of the through this part of the ceiling in order to basically interact with the EPS system. I will say that from where you are located, it is slightly thinner, or that is to say, it's in a position where you should be able to get to it. Minibot is going to stop kind of at the. He's going to stop in a place that and gesture the headlight up to a particular part of the ceiling, and then root his legs into a particular position. Like you can just hear them kind of, the servos tightening up as like a maximum, trying to create a sort of maximum stability sort of element, or like to root himself into position. Effectively, he is allowing himself to be an additional sort of stepping stool if you need it, but the tongs should be large enough that you can, or long enough that you can get it through. So, let's see here. As the 4 of you get set up, I will say the task that you need to attempt here, to fill up the tubes, it is a fitness plus engineering extended task. One of you would take lead, and then somebody else can assist, either one of your other shipmates or the mini-bot. You need to insert the cylinders through the ceiling and into the main plasma system for long enough to fill the tube. This is going to be a magnitude 3 task. Read that as difficulty 3. Your goal is to succeed at that and fill up a work track of 18. So basically it'll be that the fitness plus engineering roll, and then if you succeed at the difficulty 3 task, then you will roll challenge dice equal to 2 points, or well, 2 challenge dice plus your engineering discipline. And that will be resisted by 4 points, which you can spend momentum to get around. There is, however, there's a degree of peril here, which adds to the scene trait of, getting basically the scene trait that we will have here, and I will spend the threat to create this, is that you are having to extract plasma from a live EPS system, and the nature of it will increase the complication range by 2. Or rather, it will increase it to 2 to start with.
I see.
So,
Time to get the work.
yep. You
Who
have
wants to help?
Sorry, go ahead and say again, Tally, just so that everybody else hears, because I interrupted there, and I apologize.
All right, who wants to help? Who wants to be my second pair of hands?
Are we there now, or?
Yep,
I got the impression we were on. Oh, okay, I misunderstood. I'll help. I've got pretty steady hands. I'm not so great with the science, though.
All right. Just an extra pair of hands. Is about. I assume all of you would be about as good.
If you have steady hands, you might be able to hold up Minibot to help him.
Sure, I'll be glad to.
I think Minibot is stepping stool right now. Looks down.
I'll be the stepping stool.
You already weren't?
It's a different conversation.
You're so funny.
Looking back and forth at the symboling right. Do you want me to raise up and hold up the mini-bot? I'll be glad to do it.
I feel like he deserves it. What do you guys think?
Out of character, I totally agree.
Want to give Minibot the chance. The hope.
I mean, however it works best. I'm happy to give it a shot. Like, tell me what to do.
Okay, I'll lift up Minibot then.
Okay, Mora, give me a fitness plus, I guess fitness plus engineering will apply here as well, but the difficulty on this task to lift Minibot will be 4.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no.
It's heavy.
Is he super heavy? Okay.
I'm spending a point of threat to increase his your complication range as well.
He doesn't want to be lifted. He's an independent creature, and we're grabbing him, and we're not thinking about his personal space and rights.
Definitely
Okay,
not
I'll roll
independent.
anyway.
Yeah. Mora, give it a roll.
Directive.
Yeah.
More of the opposite. It's so inept, it cannot comprehend when something is even touching him.
Okay. Let's see how to do this. Okay.
It might crush your fingers.
You want fitness and science. Well, that's a
Engineering,
12 for
actually.
me. Engineering. Even better, that's a 13. So fitness, engineering, and I have no applicable focuses. So 2 dice. And I'm trying to... if this is super important, I can blow a value on it because I'm protecting the crew. The crew is my family. Protect them. I have just 1 value.
I was going to say, you could also, if you haven't already spent your activation for Mora, you can give her an appropriate focus. which I guess would be weightlifting or like, you know, something on that line.
Well, let's see. Let's see. Because in a lot of martial arts, and we know that she does a lot of that stuff, it's about, leveraging body weight versus trying to create arm strength or, leg strength that is not there. Could I create a focus of whole body movement, or I don't know what we'd call that. I guess it would be weightlifting.
Yeah, basically, Mora has never skipped leg day.
No, she is no. I'm going ahead and adding it. Let's see. So let's see if that's added. Add weightlifting. Okay. There, it looks like the system grabbed it. So that gives me a focus. Yes, I'm doing 11 and 2. Should I spend a momentum on this, guys? I
Sure.
think so. This little bot is doing important work.
Agreed.
Okay, I'm spending a momentum.
Oh, no!
Well, you at least
Okay.
did not complicate. Very narrowly, I might add. That 0 is an 18 on the die.
Okay.
You
Let's
can
see.
you can lift. You can actually lift Minibot like from a deadlift if you do so very carefully. But the combination of your gear and the just sheer heaviness of this robot,
If I take off my gear, can I attempt it again?
Zach,
Yes.
for sake of fairness, did you say that you raised the complication to 2 or by 2?
I meant to say that the complication is presently 2, so it would be 20
Okay.
or 9.
Okay.
For both for both tasks, it is 20 and 19.
Okay, I only rolled a complication range of 1 on that.
Well,
So
it was still an 18 on the die, so that's
okay, we don't know what it is. Okay.
yeah. But yeah, so at the moment, Mora, like, you don't know that you could sustain this lift for that amount of time.
Okay.
And if you
Can we get something put? If I get it up, can somebody get something put underneath this? That's not out of phase.
I mean,
Us?
everything's out of our phase.
Can I assist?
I'm sorry. What? What
Can
are we
I
doing?
assist? Can I assist holding him up?
I think the 3 of them are going to try and just lift up the robot together.
God. Oh, okay.
Lift together.
He's better than us at engineering. I know it.
Tally's
You know
right
what,
there.
While
Sally's
they're
doing the other thing.
But
while they're doing that, can I just start working? Can I just start doing my job?
I kind of inch over to Tally. What are they doing? What's happening?
I think they're trying to help.
okay, Tavashi, you may roll a single fitness plus engineering to try and help lift up Minibot. It is, well, that's 1 success there, so that, I guess, you can sustain it for what purpose I don't know, because if I'm not mistaken,
I thought there
Tally.
was a super important.
Well, the thing is, Tally has
super important reason to do this.
Tally has the grasping object with the cylinders and has already started working, which you can roll a control plus fitness plus engineering for the first cylinder there. Hector, you may assist with the same roll there, fitness plus engineering.
Yes, please.
As a reminder, your complication range, both for the lead and assist, is 2 at present.
All right, let's do it, baby. Hell yeah.
That's a strong start.
That
Then I
is-
don't even need to roll.
Yeah, that is nothing doing there unless you want to spend determination. Um, otherwise, I know exactly what happens. It is not it's not a negative per se. It's just
I'm fucking being distracted by the Neanderthals trying to lift the heaviest object in the room.
yep.
Don't worry,
They-
Minibot's got this if you fail.
They completely distract you, and you actually you place the cylinder not through the you don't place it into the EPS grid. You are like 7 or 8 centimeters to the left. So yeah, you pull it back down, and you find there is no plasma in the tube whatsoever. It's at a normal temperature. And yeah,
Oh, it didn't work? Well, we didn't explode yet, so let's try again.
Minibot's turn.
Oh my god.
Directive.
okay. You are handing it one of the pairs of graspers and tube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Okay.
have. Sure.
I guess Minibot will attempt to perform the task. It will extend its arm up. None of you are actually capable of assisting it because you have elevated it already. So let's see how it does and how your scheme works here.
The elevating should help Minibot.
That is 14 on the die with a focus. That is 2 successes. That is not enough to succeed. You are holding it in the wrong place for it to get to the nacelle, or like the pylon. It tries to extend its arms out, but it's still like far too short.
Okay, seeing that Tally is just thoroughly distracted by Laurel and Hardy over there, I'll just take the stuff and just like let me give it a shot. And I give it a try.
Okay, you take the graspers from Tally and try to stick it in properly, the cylinder.
Yes,
into the EPS
into
grid?
the EPS grid.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, that will be
fitness engineering.
I'm not responsible for his death.
I don't suppose my focus on explosives when I'm trying something not to explode does help.
I don't think so.
That's a shame. Can I buy a die? First question.
You certainly may.
Then I would like to buy a third die, and I would use my value for an auto crit. I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
I will accept that.
And then hope for the best.
That is 3 successes on the board. So you are going to meet the difficulty of the task. That will allow you to roll 2 plus your engineering discipline in terms of challenge dice. So I think that should be 5 challenge dice.
Yes, also it's for the auto crit, so it's 5 successes total. So I think we get
That's-
2 momentum back.
That's correct. That is true. So that brings you up to 4 momentum. Panda, draw at your leisure. Although, before we settle in on that, actually, Panda, let's keep that incoming for the pool on your guys' end, and we'll see how things go. So that is
Sure.
on the challenge dice 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. There is a resistance that must be accounted for first of 4, so that will cut it down to 3 work for the current net total. Would you guys like to do anything before we settle that on the work track?
What do we have to get so the resistance goes down by 1 permanently?
So
What was that? What threshold?
allow me to show you here. I have a handy-dandy chart of momentum spends for extended tasks, which those of you in the audience can see too here. But as listed out for those listening on audio only, there is the additional work for 1 momentum. You can increase the work you have done on this task by 1 before reductions from resistance. There is piercing, which allows you to ignore up to 2 resistance. And then there is reroll work, which for another momentum you may re-roll any number of challenge dice from the current task.
I mean, I think 1 momentum for piercing would be good.
That would make sense. That would up you to 5 points of or 5 points of work on the track.
Isn't it a breakthrough or what it was called?
That is correct.
I remember something about extended tasks.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and it should get the resistance down by 1, right?
That should.
If
I'm
I remember
double
correct.
checking my rules here just to make sure that I get this correct. But I believe it is. I actually think it may more affect difficulty of the task as opposed.
What difficulty? One of the things gets easier overall. That's the main thing.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, that's at least a couple of plasma tubes filled, I think.
Yeah. So that will, with the start of that task, with 5 points of work, I would say that Hector, you find the proper insertion angle to where the cylinder is intersecting with the, or it is inside the connecting EPS grid. After a few minutes of carefully maintaining its position, and then also the continued antics of the others trying to lift Minibot and get him into a position, you produce the first of the cylinders. It is glowing and very hot, such that you don't want to touch it yourself, and you think that it would leave burns. There's also residual heat coming off of the tube, but it is stable. And Minibot, who is presently up in the air, extends out the tube, basically the equivalent of the cup holders that are meant to contain the cylinders.
Yeah, guys, Minibot now over here, please.
Directive.
I could use a bot that's mini.
We gotta lower him slowly and steadily. Piece of art. Guess we lower him?
Yep, so you lower him. I won't have you roll on that. You just get the bot back down.
Roll for slip disc.
It's... no, they practice... Tavashi is medically oriented, so knows good form and exercise, and Mora is an experienced deadlifter, so you have no problem squatting back down, getting the bot on the ground, and able for Alvarez to place the first cylinder in one of the holding slots, and he's already starting on the second one, mostly there. Because of your breakthrough, Hector, you are now, in addition to having 5 out of the 18 points on the work track, you now have one of 3 breakthroughs, which allows you to reduce the difficulty down to 2.
That's good.
So, let's do another tube then, if you would like to. If somebody would like to make the attempt, would Hector take lead
I'm
again?
happy to continue if no one else wants to. or does
Does anyone want to help?
Tali?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can do it.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
it's right here. It's actually quite fun. There's like this buzzing feeling, like you're touching a live wire.
You basically are.
Yeah. So Tally, you can come over and help it. Alvarez stabilize what he does. I'm going to say, as the two of you get to that, I am expending another point of threat to buy an increase to the current range. The complication range is now 3, so anything from 18 to 20 will complicate.
I see.
I don't like it. Does Tali have applicable focus here? Because I don't, so I can't crit.
Yes. Yeah,
So
powers
would
it.
you like to take the lead here?
Yes, please.
And we also have, I think we gained 1 momentum still from it.
You
so
did.
we should be up to 3.
Yes.
So feel free to take 1 as well. We have some to spare.
I will gladly take one. Is this still fitness engineering or?
It is still fitness plus engineering. The difficulty now is down to 2.
All right. Let's go.
And there is 2 successes on the board. There is also 2 complications.
It begins.
Oh no.
So what actually happened is that Mora and Tawashi has started lifting Tali and Hector.
Oh. That is
Oh my god.
that is sorely tempting.
Oh fuck! This I
Okay.
have nothing to prevent this.
Yeah, I gotta start off by asking. Well, let's see. That's down 1 point of momentum for the additional dice, so that leaves us currently at 2. You first there.
Change a thing.
You first, Caligo. Would you like to accept the narrative complication, give the GM 2 points of threat to ignore it, or buy it off with your 2 remaining momentum?
I will accept the narrative complication.
Very good. Same question, Hector, or Felix in this case. Accept a further narrative complication. Purchase, or rather, ignore the complication and give the GM 2 threat, or buy it off with your 2 remaining momentum.
I think it's only fair that we suffer the same complications for the bullshit we roll.
Oh boy!
So I'm happy to be in the narrative complication range. However, we did beat the roll. I want to emphasize that.
Yes, we did succeed.
We did beat the roll.
You did succeed.
But at what cost?
Well, it makes this all the more tragic as far as like how the events play out here. So, Tally, you are enjoying the delightful buzzing feeling of being connected to that live wire, as it were, and you and Hector seem to be keeping things stable. Indeed, the two of you seem as firmly rooted as the robot just to your side. But there's a problem that comes up. And at first it has nothing to do with you in terms of what you directly did, but it is more a mechanical one that builds up over time. For much as Stewart feared, the steady interaction of these tubes with the plasma field creates the very slightest of imbalances in the warp engines. And as you go, you place the second tube back into one of the holding cylinders and begin with that third one. That's when it becomes just enough of a disruption to create a sort of stutter in the engine system, creating the imbalance in the pylons and thus creating turbulence. You are immediately jostled about as you lose the tubes. and thus it will nullify. I'll tell you what. I will still let Tali roll 6 challenge dice to determine how much work is done to start with.
All right.
Okay, so that is 3, 5, 6, 7 points. So you're actually the work that you would do is enough to get more done. However, I'll say that you finish filling up 1 tube, you get to the 3rd one, and then you start on number 4 when you inadvertently create the turbulence. So I'm going to say that, let's see, resistance, I double checked that still comes into play, so that was 4 that would have been done. So that's 6. So yeah, I think that actually the way that it will work here, you complete that. You complete the 2nd tube. You are going on to number 3, and as you are about to extract it, the plasma or the plasma disruption induced turbulence strikes. You lose the tube. It goes down the hallway, and that is when it is going to rupture. So that will. You guys are already unsteady on your feet, and then we add to that the following blast here. Oh.
Oh no.
So that is 2, 3, 4, 5 points of damage as this tube explodes, sending a wave of superheated compressed air, like the plasma itself, and maybe a little bit of I'll say the shrapnel doesn't quite get you, but definitely a wave of plasma is going to rush out in the immediate area. Because of those 2 area effects, I'm going to say that about half of that. So the main damage is going to hit. Let's see. I'll roll between Hector and Tali here, just to see who gets hit with the main injury. Let's see. Tali, you rolled the first complication. Give me evens or odds.
Evens.
You are hit
Damn.
with the full force of the explosion as you get horribly burned. Hector, you take half of that damage. You also get sent back through this wall, and it is just like you roll onto the floor, and then you find your hands dragging along, and you feel the most unpleasant situation as you realize that you rolled to where your lower body is now being pulled on by vacuum from outside the ship. You are steadily being pulled out and only, like, holding in place by the exertion of the gravitational field, but it is like something dragging you through the ship.
I told you Shira was going to space me. She's already getting me.
Either way, Space Ghost here. For your parts, Kirari and Tavashi, both of you will take 2 points of stress for the area effect. So,
Okay.
Tali,
If I see it coming, I'll just I'll put up my arms so at least I kind of protect my head and my eyes.
Yep. You
Make a precaution, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm going to say this is severe enough to where, well, I'll say that it is still a non-lethal injury, but it is enough to incapacitate you, Tali. So you are going to require treatment before you do anything. But as the 2 of you get sent, as Mora and Shikaris get sent back against the bulkheads, you are at least able to kind of come to your senses, and you see Tally being you see Tally like on the ground, kind of knocked prone by the explosion, and you see Hector, his lower body through the exterior wall, and steadily being pulled outside the ship into vacuum.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
no,
Tally. I'll be right there.
How much stress did I take?
You take, I'm going to say 2 points of stress, but you are also, I'm just going to go ahead and lump on an additional 3 from the vacuum, or the impacts of vacuum.
Oh, do I pass out then?
Well, you aren't suffocated outside. It's your legs that are presently exposed.
No, but it's five stress, so it wasn't 5 stress.
Oh yeah,
I've never
that's,
taken damage, I think, in the game, personally.
That's right.
So.
Yeah, so you are also taking a what is at the moment non-lethal injury. But yeah, so Hector, how are you feeling being dragged out slowly from the ship?
Yeah, I think I could use some help.
Yep.
I mean, I'm trying to grip like the carpet or whatever it is, but I'm not gripping anything.
Yeah, your
Correct.
hand is kind
Go
of
help me.
passing through the carpet itself, and it's like you're just kind of dragging along. It's like your hand is passing through a very thick mud or sand, basically. That's what the field kind of does for you. It gives you a slight grip, but it's not enough against that.
Yes, to help. My feet are very cold.
I got you.
And
I'm a grab
I
it.
was going to go over and help him too.
Okay.
Now, question. Okay, so Makos usually carry rope and stuff with them. I was thinking, since this bot is so goddamn heavy, could I just loop a rope around it, and then I'm going to go to Hector and make sure that he is not going any further so that we can pull him back in?
You know, if you
While
want
we're
to,
talking about it, we haven't talked about the most important thing. Is Minibot okay?
Minibot's fine.
Minibot sustained some cosmetic damage, but 2 stress is not enough to do it an injury either.
Gods can't be
Good.
killed.
Then I can go in peace.
Yep. Anyway, Mora, you do have a bit of like an emergency cable sort of thing. You can create the advantage to quickly like get something clipped onto Minibot and run over, and I'll let it reduce the difficulty. For that advantage, I would either need a determination spend if you have a value, or the remaining 2 momentum that you have in the pool.
Okay, I'm going to spend my determination. The crew is my family, remember? So I'm very into protecting the crew. Irregardless of what the first officer thinks of Hector Alvarez.
Very good.
The crew is my family, so I'm invoking that right now for 2 successes.
Okay, so since you've
Or create advantage.
you've got that going, I'm going to say one more fitness task. Mora, I will allow you to roll security. Chikaris, you can roll medicine to basically pull.
Yeah.
Fitness and security, right? Okay,
Yeah.
fitness and security.
Yep.
2 dice, right?
Yep. Difficulty on this will
And-
be 2.
And may I use my new skill of weightlifting
Absolutely.
as a God, that just became super useful, didn't it? For the focus I did on the fly, it just became super useful. I love it.
And I'm rolling 1 dice.
Yes, to assist. Okay, but yeah, Mora is going to roll 4 successes there, plus the auto crit for a total of 6 there. Add on 1 point from Tavashi's assist, and that is 7 successes right on the board. So that is going to translate to, you beat the difficulty of 2, and you gain 5 points of momentum in total. So you should be up to,
right on.
You should be at 5 now. I'll update the count to reflect that. Tavashi is pulled back through, and Alvarez is pulled back through. His legs seem to have a light kind of basically frost over them, and Hector, there's considerable pain from them right now. Decompression
Now, I
sickness
know
being a
that my
thing.
friend here is a medic, so hopefully.
Who?
Yeah, it's like, oh god, sweet ground. My legs. This is
Hold
one
my
thing
hand.
after another.
Yeah.
Okay, just hold still. Let me take a look at it,
I'm not
and
holding
then we'll
still.
go from there.
Yep. Let's see. You still have your medical scanner, so you can make it a reason plus science thing. If you otherwise just want to like pull up the pant leg a moment and take a look and see the worst affected areas, then you can use insight instead.
You said science?
That should be medicine. So, sorry if I
Okay.
got that wrong.
I don't think my focuses apply. So let's rock it.
Okay, that is 3 successes here. So that's just a... I'm going to say that's just a little more momentum that you can use immediately. But the main task here would be administering first aid in order to help them get past the injury here. So let's see. That would, in terms of impact on the particular flesh, there are signs of like basically like nitrogen bubbles and boiling fluids underneath his skin, which is, suffice to say, causing quite a bit of damage to the leg muscle tissue. It was not so long as to where he has no use from them, or like where it couldn't be used. You'd probably need to do something to compensate for the pain, and otherwise kind of like administer something to help compensate for any ableisms, basically any involuntary muscle contractions or like bubbles of or like gas bubbles of bodily fluids.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Can I use a value to gain a piece of I don't want to say equipment, but like I'm trying to gain like a disinfectant.
You should have that as part of your medical kit.
Okay, it didn't give me a medical kit on my equipment, so I was just curious.
That's okay.
Okay, then I'm gonna I'll look him dead in the eyes. I say, all right. And I pull out something, anything hard to bite on that's kind of soft for his teeth. I'm gonna need you to bite on this while I pop all your boils.
Gross.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm. The boils hold pus. We need to get those cleaned, and then disinfect your leg, and then wrap it.
Can I say no?
Mm,
No.
Oh shit.
no.
Yep. This will be a fitness, or rather, it's a daring plus medicine to stabilize someone after they've taken an injury. That should be a difficulty of 1 task here.
Oh,
Now I can assist.
no.
I can assist because I have medicine as well.
Well, you can't assist if he didn't succeed.
Oh.
I'm so sorry. Can I apply a focus?
Well,
I
if
forgot to apply it.
I mean, you said you were going to tap determination. Was that right?
I can for the. Is
Yeah.
it too late?
You can use your determination to basically, if you have a relevant value in the situation, you can use your determination to re-roll the dice pool.
Okay, I'm gonna do that for sure. And my value is cleanliness leads to perfection.
Xanter would approve.
All right. And can I use my surgical techniques focus?
Yes. 2 successes, so that will be enough to get him back into at least not dying shape. That will also give you back the point of momentum, so you'll be up to 6 now.
I'm gonna give him something for minor pain relief,
Yeah.
just in case something worse happens.
I will say you can spend 2 points to basically make him instantly able to get up instead of just being stabilized, so...
I'm gonna save those for my sister.
Well, you've got 6 momentum right now, so you could conceivably,
We're good.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, 2 points. Let's do it.
And you probably learn some non-approved swear words in the process.
Yeah. Technically, you had some floating, so I think you still have 6 after all this. So, yeah, running over to Tally, I'm just going to say she's got pretty clear signs of plasma burns, particularly her arms, probably a bit to her face. It's very painful. She also took a bad knock to the back of her head, and abdomen is the blast wave sent her into a bulkhead. So you can stabilize her and get her back into shape with some pain relievers, something to handle inflammation and the like.
All right, I'll start the work on her.
Okay, that's one more daring plus medicine roll, difficulty 1. Okay, yep, that's another 2 successes on the board, so you beat that and have 1 point of momentum floating right now. So do you want to use that plus 1 from your pool in order to get Tally back on her feet?
Absolutely.
All right. So yeah. Tavashi works very efficiently getting both patients back into a fit state to work. You just make it back up. You are down 1 tube of plasma, so you only have 3 left.
Great.
Or rather, you have 3 empty ones left. There's 2 that are already filled and with Minibot.
Directive.
Right now I'm as pretty as my brother.
This could have gone better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Could have gone worse.
True.
Yeah. I imagine anyone that has a communicator might be hearing back from your other crew member.
Yep. So the console's done, right, GM?
Yeah, you're working on that, and you've got things mostly put together when there's a sudden bit of turbulence that rocks everybody in engineering.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. What did your people do? My Minibot better not be broken.
She just puts a foot down on a tool that she's trying to hold things in place, and just grabs the communicator. Anyone can hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Here, let me give you the sound effect.
Hello?
Hello?
Great. What the hell happened?
This is Mora. We have 2 injured while we were trying to get the plasma sample. They're okay. We're getting back to work. We have how many more?
Mora, how did you know what? It doesn't matter.
I was helping out in engineering.
No, I don't. Look, it's great. Sorry, sir, but it's great. But, so what happened?
Okay,
Again?
we were trying to get the sample, and there was a complication. Energy blew out. It knocked down our Andorian medic and our Andorian security officer.
Are they okay?
And our engineer, Hector. and everything's being fixed up right now. We're getting back to work. We're going to go back and try to get the samples.
Just
for
make sure everybody's okay.
Got it. I'm
If there's
unsafe.
another look, if we can find another way of plasma, then safer way of plasma, please try to get it. You don't need to risk yourself this much. It's especially if it create that kind of jolt. Just be careful.
Yes,
Calig
we'll
is
be
going
careful.
to Calig's going to place his head over your shoulder. You absolutely need to get the plasma from there. There's no other
Stop,
choice.
Stop. We put your no. Just,
You scarcely notice in the background as Calig is like getting over your shoulder that Sharp has also called in to check with Romanov, and they're reporting an unknown dip in the or like disruption in the one of the in the starboard nacelle, let's say, and a slight imbalance has happened, but that Romanov is correcting it and compensating as needed.
Yeah.
For the rest of you, you just get the interplay of those two fighting over the communicator before it gets out. So, you guys want to give this another go?
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
What can go wrong?
He said the thing.
don't do that.
If you really want to know.
No.
And,
Okay.
and I gave that to the GM. I got that for him.
Yeah. So, getting back to the task, or as Minibot would say,
Directive.
that would be a difficulty 2 fitness plus engineering roll. As a reminder, the complication range remains 3.
Does anyone have a decent score for that with the focus?
What is it again?
Fitness engineering.
Actually, I might kind of have that. Let me just look at my engineering is actually something I'm decent at because I kind of thought the character might have a little bit of that. Let me just get back to my character sheet.
Yep. As a reminder,
Yeah,
too, you have 5 points of momentum that can be useful for buying off complications, since some of you have spent determination already. And it would help you with resistance.
I have fitness 11, and I have engineering 2. That's 13.
But we have a focus. That would
I
be
have internal security, which means I would be familiar with the various fields and systems that protect the ship. But that's not, I don't believe that's going to give me no, I don't know. That's GM's call. Do I understand the fields that protect the place we're taking the sample from? You know, that's a him call.
To which I will say, while Mora does have a greater understanding of the science behind this than I would have initially thought, I think that's not quite what that focus would do.
Yeah, that's why. It was my long shot. You know I always have to take a long shot. Okay. But I do have 13, unless anybody's got better.
Yeah, I also got 13, but also no focus.
And I've already blown my determination.
Yeah, me too. I mean, if Tali does have a focus, if she feels up to it.
Power systems, yeah, I can keep going.
And do you have a determination to spend?
I do.
Then you're the person, because you can harness 2 successes, plus we have a few momentum. This is the key thing. I'd say take 2 momentum and add it to a determination. That's my player-to-player suggestion.
I see. We just want to dove balls and just finish it with the next one. Got it.
Well, out of character, I was not here, but it sounds like we only need how much, one sample, or how many rolls do we need to make to get
So
our sample?
you have 2 parts of the breakthrough that you or rather you've had 1 breakthrough. You need like basically 2 more of those, and the work track filling out would be 18. You currently have 5 points on that track.
We're not even halfway.
Yeah. It is conceivable that you could ignore resistance and then also you could at least get it far enough that you could reduce the difficulty to 1 after this, but that you could that would make it easy to finish up the work after this. You could also spend enough momentum probably to almost complete the work track, but that's just obviously the task may be the task just gets riskier from here, essentially.
And is there any precautions we could take to help the character? I guess we don't have access to any materials that aren't at very little of what we have access to is out of phase, right?
Precisely. The best you can do is try to succeed as much as you can and gain momentum to buy that off. You can help them by assisting to try and keep things as stable as possible, but as earlier shows, sometimes both of you might have problems.
I can assist. That's the best I can offer.
Yeah. I mean,
But,
what would be the chances that 2 of you would get natural 20s again? What?
Also, this time we have the momentum to buy it off.
Game back.
Yep.
This time we have the momentum to buy it off as well.
It's true.
I mean, I'm happy. I'm very happy to assist again, but I think Tally with the appropriate focus should be the lead.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
And that's
GM.
when Callie was evaporated, just vaporized. Boom. Sorry.
I has a question.
Go ahead.
When the explosion happened, did it go through the walls, or did the explosion like kind of just bounce off of it?
I would say the blast wave went through the walls.
Okay, never mind. I'm trying to figure out a safe way for me to keep distance, because if you all go down, at least I can come back and get everybody back up to working condition, or try to anyway.
Well, if you take steps down the hallway, then since it's diffusing widely, you can probably, like if you basically say that you walk a zone away, which might be just like further down the corridor, you would be safe from any stress.
I let everybody know. I'm going to take a walk down. If I hear an explosion, I'll come running back. I just want to make sure that we keep all of the assets that we do have safe. And if I'm over there, I can at least come back and try to help you guys and not be in range of the explosion. Is that okay with everybody else?
Yeah, sure.
I walk out. Don't die.
Don't plan on it.
Okay. Fitness plus engineering, difficulty of 2 task for the work track. Or for the extended task now.
All right. Let's nab a momentum. Get an extra die, and let's do this. It's Jover. It's over.
Oh my god.
What the actual fuck?
That is...
Jover.
This, no. Hey, no.
That please.
Guys. This is actually 3 failures. This is an 18.
Yep. You forgot to change the range there, guys. This is...
Oh my god.
That is a...
This is 3 complications. I think this is a record.
Oh my...
This is several records.
Ooh.
Okay, can we just end the campaign here? The Aegis just explodes like in the other phase, and we are never heard from again. I think that's what happens.
Okay, so, like... We have one of 2 options that we can proceed with here. One... Caligo, you said you still had a a value you could tap for tally. You still had a point of determination you can spend. You can re-roll the pool and undo those. Otherwise, you will... The only other thing that you could do from there would be to... well, you can obviously accept all of those complications, and then we just end the session here, and we... Or
Oh my
you can
God.
give me, like, you can do some admixture of accepting the narrative, giving me threat, or buying it off with momentum. You can only do that twice for what... You can only buy off 2 of those 3 complications, though. So either way, I'm still going to need something threat-wise, or you accepting a narrative complication. And that is, once again... unless you re-roll with the with your point of determination. So what do you want?
I think re-rolling is the best option.
Yep.
As funny as taking all of them would be.
Yep.
But you know, destroying
Good job.
3 complications. Oh my God.
That's a clip there. Anyway. Yeah, so go ahead. What value are you tapping for tally?
Live life to the fullest. I am not dying now, right here.
Yep. So give me a re-roll. 3 dice there. Oh.
Yeah, and this is when Q writes me down his little fucking notebook.
There we go.
Oh, that did it. That is 3 successes on the board, and not a complication in sight. Oh,
I can't wait to return for like a Final Destination episode for I Deserve to Die.
Yep. Oh, by the way, Hector, were you assisting there? Yep, you did. 1 success.
Yeah,
so that is 4 points there. So instead of TPK, that is now that would now be 4 successes on a difficulty 2 task. So that is 2 points in momentum, presently floating and before being assigned to anything. Tally, you may roll the 6 challenge dice there to do work on the work track. That is 5 points of work. That is still resisted by 4, so at the moment, this is just 1 point. You still have 2 momentum floating that, as a reminder, there's the momentum spends you have for that. So what would you like to do, if anything?
I feel like spending that on piercing for the extended task.
Okay, so one of those will get you up to 3 work. The other will do all 5 points you earned.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do all 5.
All right, so that'll do that. That'll give you 1 more breakthrough. Would you like to stop it there, or do you want to re-roll the zeros? Do you want to spend anything from your pool to do additional work?
How many is that with all? How many? Where are we at? Now?
So right now,
where are we now?
That would put you at 10 points on the work track and 2 out of 3 breakthroughs. So the task, it's going to go down to a difficulty 1 task from here. I should actually say, since the cylinders are representing the maximum amount of work that you can do, you only actually can hit a maximum of 15 now because one of those tubes exploded. You need a minimum of 12 in order to, because he needs 4 cylinders worth of the plasma. That'd be the equivalent to 12 work on the work track.
Then I think with 10 right now, it's fine. We have to do another roll anyway. Am I right?
Yeah, that would make sense. So you extract the plasma for a 3rd tube, and you get the last 2 ready. Yeah, give it 1 more roll at your leisure, guys.
Very scared of your rolls, but do it.
Yeah, the
I want to point out that if the TPK had occurred, that Minibot would have been stuck in a out of phase status for the rest of the campaign, and that would have been unacceptable to the fan club.
I'm sure.
But the fan club would be dead, so
So,
Yeah, it's true.
We would live on in spirit.
yeah.
We would live
I
on
mean,
in
you're
spirit.
already ghosts, so what are you worried about?
Yeah, yeah. If you die, you're not as ghost. You're dead in real life. You're gone. You're
oh,
just
okay,
dying.
okay, that's how this happened. Panda comes to our houses personally.
So, the four of you are all sweating, especially the Andorians, as the air is still a little bit hot from, or there's residual feel of the plasma and a bit of ozone that has taken shape, but there's also the stress of this next go at the task. So difficulty 1, fitness plus engineering, and I'm dropping the additional threat to feed into that trait. The complication range is now 4.
God,
There's no
Why?
way. There's no way we get another 2 complications.
Stop.
You,
Stop doing that.
He said the thing. He said it.
I mean, I'm just 2 days from retirement. I'm just an
gotta go home
ensign, but
while I think
somehow.
kids.
Complication range 4.
Correct.
All right. Knuckle pop.
You
That
should have
is a
taken another.
20. A 20.
You should have taken another in the third die anyway.
You know, the reason I didn't do that is because I probably would have rolled another complication.
That's fair. Is anyone assisting? Let me ask first.
Yeah, I'm probably assisting. Oh god, I'm so scared.
Hey! Yeah!
Right on.
Goddamn. Okay. Caligo.
Heck yeah, Brett. Good job.
So, complication on the board. Do you accept the narrative complication, ignore it and give me threat, or spend 2 points of momentum that Hector just earned because God tier security officer, and buy off the complication?
I think we have enough momentum that we can just buy it
yeah,
off.
let's buy it
Yeah,
off.
buy off the complication that we with the momentum that we just got.
Yep.
But also
And-
narrative.
Narrative is funny. You are right.
Just buy it
They're
off.
already,
Buy it off.
they're already sliding the money to the DM. I don't have a choice.
All right. So you're a little bit shaky in spite of the meds, maybe in part because of them, but Hector provides a firm hand that helps you keep the rod stabilized and in the EPS juncture in a proper manner. Thankfully, it doesn't seem like you cause any further turbulence, and you come out with, let's see how many tubes you fill up with this one. Go ahead, roll the challenge dice one more time, please. That is 2 work,
Good.
resisted by 4, so that would be no work without that. You do have momentum.
Can be-
down. 2 floating.
What was the? I would re-roll that if you can.
Yeah, we can spend 1 momentum to reroll any of the challenge dice, so we will reroll 4 of those.
Yep, so 1 point will allow you to re-roll 4 challenge dice. Go right ahead. That gives you 2 more points there. You are... That's still... All of that is ignored by... That's still ignored because of the resistance, but you can spend that 1 last point of momentum you have floating just outside the pool to ignore at least some of that. Up to 2 points.
All right, let's at least get 2 points. At least get something for the suffering.
So that will complete the work track. And I think that once it completes the work track, you get that final breakthrough anyway. So,
Yes, I believe
with
so.
with that, you have the 4 minimum tubes that you need. You could, if you so chose, extract for a redundant one, but you've technically met the minimum objective. So, any thoughts before you do anything?
We have to get the bonus objectives.
We kind of should, shouldn't we?
One more time. One more time.
God, do we want to just roll or like say that you try to go for the tube and then just cut away from the scene so as to leave it leave it a mystery there?
Do
Or
we dare?
you can roll if you like. I'll say that much.
What does the gang feel like? Will it still be complication level 4?
Yes.
How important is the redundant one?
Stop us from having to walk back.
Well, Calag was vague on that, but he was like he could do it with 4. He would prefer to have 6.
Well, there was also the fact that maybe his calculations didn't account for Mora.
True.
A distinct possibility.
And if he's given a choice between Mora and Minibot, he's going to take Minibot.
Well, in any case, the difficulty of the task will still be 1. Complication range will stay elevated where it is. But yeah, it's up to you guys.
Gamba, I'm jambing.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Let's go. Yes!
3 successes. So that'll net you 2 momentum plus 1 more from Alvarez. So that is 4 successes in total. I'll say go ahead, roll challenge dice if you like. Yeah, that is 4, 5 on the board. Still resisted by 4 points. You can spend one of your incoming points of momentum to ignore it, and I think that would actually fill out the work track the rest of the way.
All
Yeah.
right.
Let's do that. Then we generate 1 total momentum to our pool and are done and limp back home.
Yep. So you extract the last tube, having perfected the procedure, and haggard by an exploded plasma tube, and in Hector's case by the effects of vacuum, the medicated group proceeds along with Minibot at the lead.
Directive.
My boy.
Yep. So, back in the main engine room, the squabble has ended. Stewart, I'm just going to rule that you have just kept the communicator. You've just gotten the communicator away from him, and most importantly, kept it out of licking range.
Yep.
Xantar is now on the other end of the room. All this.
Okay.
Fine. That one can be yours. I think we've got enough to make this system work anyway. All we need is the plasma tubes, and then the command interface. I'll be able to tune it to give us the precise negative phase inversion to for the coil to generate the appropriate pulse.
We're still missing an emitter.
Oh, that's the beauty of it. We don't need the emitter. That's part of what the plasma's for.
What?
Advantage of this being of the phase of the machine being out of phase, we can interact the warp plasma with the warp reactor directly. It won't cause it. It won't engage it in any critical way that would endanger the machinery. I've calculated that out to a very precise degree. But it will give us natural use of the field of the warp engines itself.
How much of wrong is all that sound? 'Cause that sounds pretty dangerous and insane.
It does sound crazy, but based on your earlier success, I'd say that it sounds exceptionally strange, but it might be just crazy enough to work.
She does the math in her head. Okay, possibly. But we have to keep the variance very, very thin and very, very abrupt. Otherwise, we might cause too much polarization, and we don't want that. We don't want that at all.
I completely agree. That's why I have it firmly calculated. It should only be calibrated to affect biomass, and only within that very specific phase variance.
Directive.
As he says that, the crew, haggard and like looking much worse for wear, comes through. Minibot, it seems to have 5 glowing plasma rods in tow, or rods containing plasma inside the translucent material. Oh, good. Now we can proceed. We can actually get back home.
What? You didn't tell me it was this bad. What happened?
So much. Oh, I need to lie down. Oh, yes, the floor's good. I like the floor.
Xantar's going to rush over. Oh dear, I'd better start working on you. At least get you a little more stable. Nice work, Tavashi. In fact, he could walk at all. Quite impressive.
How do my burn injuries look?
Ugh. That's all he gets.
Let's see.
Oh.
All right. If a lot of you can sit between the machine and the warp engine, please. This is very brief, very quick, hopefully, and if not, it won't matter anyways.
Oh.
So.
Oh, don't you worry, he says as Minibot begins installing the rods into the slot.
I'm worrying a lot.
I promise you, I have this precisely calculated. Using the warp field matrix itself, everything with the warp field will create a negative phase inversion field that will specifically target biomass, and that way our phase inversion should return to normal.
It's also going to affect everyone else in the engineering room besides us, probably, if you don't calculate it right. Not to mention, it might phase parts of us only, and that will lead to death.
No.
Hey,
You misunderstand. It's comprehensive. It's not going to hit the engine room. It's going to be within the whole warp field of the ship. With that kind of strength, we'll definitely be able to get back, with only the minor phase inversion, thus bringing our biomass back into regular phase. What's so harder to understand about that?
Okay, give me the formula. Give me the formula right now.
I told you, and he says as he runs through the math again. It's specifically targeted for a 0.05 negative phase inversion on biomass within the field. Thus, our biomass gets restored. The third tube is now in the machine.
What do I find wrong with this? I find there's something in me that's trying to tip of my tongue. Something's wrong.
Morris
I'll give you
Stuart nervously.
Can I have a question?
Yes.
I have a question for the GM, because I'm not 100% sure if I remember this correctly. Didn't he say that his phase variance is different from ours?
He said that there had been some slight differences, but that he's still calculated it's kind of within the range. I'm just going to
he keeps saying that. He keeps saying that he has calculated.
Yeah.
I'm with Stuart on this.
I'm missing something. If I miss something, DM me really quick.
Well, so I'm going to say that you have actually already commented on what the problem was.
Oh, that we're going to be pushed too hard? Or that we can hit everybody else?
A 0.5, it will create a phase inversion using the warp field, so biomass within the field will have the corrective negative 0.05% phase variance, so our biomass will be restored. What's so hard to understand about that?
Positive.
We presently have a positive phase inversion. We need the negative field to work.
We have a negative...
I watched the last session. I checked this.
Okay, did we?
Yep.
Okay. I don't remember. Okay, Zach, I'm tired. Just type it to me what I got wrong.
No, you had it the second time. And he said it a few times. Biomass within the field, the warp field, as in within the
So
ship.
is while we are restored, everyone else is shunted out.
Oh,
Is that
that
what's happening?
includes the crew.
Well, you're right here. You're the crew, aren't you?
No,
The rest of
they
us
Minibot installs the fourth
move
cylinder.
aside. Move us,
Directive.
Hector. Mora, make sure he doesn't get in the way.
Hey,
And the
Okay.
minibot.
What?
I need to work. I need to work.
Minibot, do
Really
not
quickly.
allow her to touch the machine any further. Minibot will step between you.
Directive.
Mora,
Yeah.
help.
Okay, I'll help her.
You gonna get in the fray of minibot or this Tellurite?
Would
Yeah, I'll check them both if I can.
Minibot
Meaning I'll-
extends out its arms to where it's trying to create a bit of a perimeter. Look, I don't know what you I don't know what you think you're doing here, but this is the only way. I've been like this for years after Soral left me this way. And I thirst and I hunger without being able to eat or drink. I tire without, or rather, I feel the need for sleep, but without having ever truly tired.
And you'll get it. But we're trying. Look. I understand. I understand that you're tired, you're hungry, you're thirsty. You haven't been able to do any of those things. You told me the whole time, repeatedly, for the last 4 hours. And I understand. I do. But it's going to affect all biomass. That includes the rest of the 100+ crew on this small ship. And that's going to cause them to be out of phase while the rest of us are in phase. And that's going to be a lot of trouble because this ship is a bucket of bolts, and it needs more than a handful of people. She looks at the crew. So if you excuse me, I can adjust it, and it will affect just us.
You fool! You don't understand. Without a proper emitter component, of which none of what we have would work for, the only way that this is going to engage would be for us to conduct the pulse. We'll find some way to bring the rest back once we have equipment, but
Mora,
otherwise,
can you just deal with this bot, please?
Yeah, I will move to block the bot.
I mean, you can shoot the bot. Minibot needs to go, guys.
God, I'm ready.
Are you aiming at Minibot?
I'm getting ready. I'm watching to see because the bot is probably weaponized.
Yep.
I'm guessing.
You look at it with no apparent weapons. Your eyes stare directly into the faceplate and the red light.
Directive.
Yeah, and I will just shoot the arm.
You raise to shoot Minibot's arm. Give me a control plus security roll.
Okay. Sorry, Minibot. The player is in charge of your fan club. Okay.
So
It is. It's really sad, but Mora doesn't feel that. Okay. Fitness, security, hand phasers. So here it comes.
And I am going to say this is a difficulty 3 roll because you are right up against it. You are pretty much in melee range.
Yeah.
You can use a momentum if you like.
Yeah, I'll use the momentum. This is a sad day. I would love to. I'm. The sad thing is we actually really need this bot, but okay, here it goes.
3 successes, so you meet. That will go ahead and roll damage. Are you using your pistol or rifle?
I'm using the pistol on this one because I feel that that's enough to do. Particle rifle might be overkill. So,
Okay.
Here we go.
That is 3 7 points of damage. It will resist 2 because of its Machine 2 talent. But that is still enough to do an injury to it. I am going to tap its... as you now enter combat, I am going to tap its Reroute System Protocol talent. So, when injured, you can attempt a Control plus Engineering task with a difficulty of 2. On success, you remove that injury. Let's see, the injury is effectively removed, and the repairs are to be done later to fully compensate for it. But that will still, let's see, that will allow it 2 successes. So you fire at one of the arms, and you seem to disrupt it, but a set of servos were into place, and a backup system triggers as its arms raise. And I am going to put 2 points of threat in order to affect another task here. So that's specifically by... Just making sure I'm doing this all correctly here. I'm going to Swift Task, which means that it will attempt an additional task, but with a difficulty of 1 over what would normally be required. I think I'll be generous and treat this as you get an extra die for free on this one, as it is going to try and grapple you with its mechanical arms.
Grapple me. Okay.
Yep, so Daring plus Security, you automatically get 1d20 for free.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like I have a momentum, right? So I'll
Pretty
just put
much.
3 dice. Okay,
Yep.
3 dice.
Yep.
And I am going to counter with my weightlifting because I know how to manipulate my body to to counteract larger forces. Lots of Aikido, yoga, shit like that, Tai Chi, all that kind of stuff.
I'm spending a point of threat to buy an additional d20. I am also tapping its mechanical grip focus. Oh, and by the way, I'm using its value, which if you hadn't guessed...
Directive.
Of course you bastard. I've got to, excuse the wordage. Can I spend a momentum, guys? Because I'm up against a...
Yep. So
Okay.
with that and with the
Hold on,
increase,
I'm still
you get
thinking.
4... that will allow you a 4th die there.
Okay, so I'm at 4 die. And can I ask the GM how many dice he's throwing?
I have rolled 3. Also, I
Okay,
will note for our purposes here. Hold on, let me fix something with the display. For my purposes, the mini-bot has a security substitution rule, so whenever performing a melee combat task with sanction from Caligo, it may use engineering instead of security, and may use its mechanical grip with the appropriate discipline here. So.
Yeah, i.e. this is gonna be tough. Okay, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can throw at you. And I cannot think of anything else. Unless I pay for 1 more die, guys. If I
No, just you got 4 dice. Just do it.
got 4 dice. Okay, this is as good it gets then.
Oh, it's even.
Then I'm locked with him. That's okay. If I'm
Well,
locked and he's locked, then
the initiative on on a melee attack goes to the attacker.
okay.
Well,
Let me.
did your best, man.
Yep. So at this point now, your character has, or Minibot has you firmly in its grasp. You have a grappled complication imposed on you, which prevents you from taking any other actions besides breaking free. That's a difficulty
Okay, but
2
he's
fitness
got it.
plus.
So isn't he kind of tied up too?
one of his arms, yes, is engaged with you at the moment.
Okay.
Excellent. Worked for me. All right, so it's our turn now.
Yep.
Cool. Stuart is gonna just like crawl over the robot and just leap onto the console.
You fool! What are you doing?
And she'll say, "The rest of you, keep them distracted, please, and stay very close to this machine."
Yep.
It's been a minute since I've had a good brawl.
I'll allow the movement to just let you get to the machine over the robot without a task. Do you want to try and attempt a task here, Steward?
Yes, I'm trying to modify it into the correct, to limit it just around maybe like 2 meters around this machine precisely.
Give me an insight plus engineering roll.
Can I talk you into insight science?
I'll allow that.
Go Stewie. Go Stewie.
And I'm gonna take a momentum for this. You guys don't mind?
Yeah, go for it.
So, correct my threat counter there. Actually, I'm down to 5 now.
I think you're down to 0.
You would think that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I got nothing to really do this, so let's go. Really? Come on. What? I have cautious science, so
You
I can
do.
re-roll those 2 dice.
Yep.
It's still
Okay.
2. Something.
Yep. At 2 successes, I'm going to say, Steward, as you frantically try to go over this, you realize that's the problem with this thing not having an emitter. You can't actually control the range without the interaction that he claims is going to happen with the plasma and it carrying out to the warp field. The only thing that would immediately be affected is anything within the coil itself. Otherwise, no biomass gets phased. This machine, as long as it exists, is only going to be good for emitting it either within that very narrow range, or if allowed to interact with the EPS grid, with the entire ship. So, it's you could wait it out as Caligo has done, or you can stop it from being a threat, but otherwise, there's nothing doing here. That said,
Okay.
Caligo is going to try and close the distance with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, if you could drop one of those momentum there, Panda.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Quite alright. So, Caligo closes the distance and starts to pull you away from it. You are not getting me stuck here. I have been here too long. Give me a daring plus security difficulty 2 roll.
Shit. That's not her best.
Daring a plus security, that is.
I know.
Yep. You must beat 2 successes.
Oh god, that's gonna suck. Okay, let's do this. I got 1. That's not bad for an 8 total.
Yep, but it's not enough to stop him from being able to pull you away and give you a shove around to the shove against the wall away from the machine. Damn you, I'm not waiting anymore for this. But that he is going to have to wait because that is his turn. I do take a point of threat, but you are thrown, and let me see if you are knocked prone by him. So let me just roll unarmed strike. Yes, you are knocked prone, and you take 2 points of stress. So, Turn order goes to the
How
rest
is health? How is health measured through stress? It's one what?
So I'm just going
When
to
do I
say...
take an injury?
Say again?
When do I take an injury?
You take it if your stress track is either completely filled up or if you take 5 points in one hit.
Okay. And what's the entire measure of my stress exactly?
I think it is your fitness plus medicine.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Continue.
All good. So, let's see. Tally, Tavashi, Hector, you are all capable of acting right now. Moira is grappled, and Stewart has been thrown against the wall by the Tellarite.
All right. I
So-
can throw it with a Tellarite.
You guys have been told that nothing activates. We will be the only people on the ship, and everybody else gets out of phase.
Yeah. So we got to.
You guys cool with me bodying him? Like, I'm just gonna full
Yeah, go
charge
for
his
it.
ass. Okay, cool.
What's this fucking clothesline on the sibling
Yo.
clothesline?
Sibling clothesline. Is that a move? Can we do that?
It's like
Is that a talent?
You know, it's
That is,
entirely too funny, so I will let you both pull a daring plus security roll. One of you leads, the other assists.
they've
How-
been doing this for years. They're siblings.
Which one of us is lead?
All right. What's your daring and security?
I have a 9 daring and a 3 security.
I have a 10 daring, so I'm slightly better.
Let's
You have
go.
a focus that you could use.
I don't think surgical techniques applies.
The neck shot, man.
Cardiovascular systems? That's all you. Okay, so I'll assist. Let's do this.
All right.
Sibling clothesline.
Hey.
Yo!
Ooh, that is 4 successes. 3 from Tally, 1 from Tavashi. You roll against Calag, who, as you come around to clothesline, he's only got 1 success there, so it's Tally and Tavashi with a steel chair. But yeah, you take him down. Tally, I'm going to go ahead and say roll damage for unarmed strike.
Oh.
Well, that you at
We
least
have a
have.
moment.
Yeah, you could re-roll that if you wanted to. With the, you would have 3 points of momentum that are currently incoming that I haven't assigned to the pool yet.
Yeah, I feel like using 1 to re-roll that would be a good idea.
Okay, so give that a re-roll then.
All right. Hey.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that's enough to knock him down, and that also adds. That's enough to do an injury. So yeah, you get him down and manage to effectively have him pinned there. I'm going to say he takes a bad knock to the head as well. He's like, no, Minibot, activate the machine. Do it now, please. Minibot is still not capable of acting yet. Hector, you still have the initiative, and you have a pretty firm sense that the tubes are that machine is bad news if it activates. You have no phase pistol. Mora has weapons, but she is grappled with a Minibot. The only other real thing that you have are you can throw your communicator. There are blasty tubes if you're feeling spicy with that focus of yours. I leave it up to you.
Oh God, I feel like doing something stupid.
Do it. We're about at time.
It doesn't have an off button, right?
It does not.
And it just activated when the power was in, so when all the tubes went in.
Yeah, basically, what I didn't say is that the machine needs to be pushed into the warp core, phased through, so that the plasma can interact properly. It's still outside the core.
I was thinking just pulling out one of the plasma tubes, so it doesn't even have enough juice to go.
Oh boy. Give
I think that's the right amount of stupid for lower decks.
give me a
so-
daring plus engineering, and I am spending 3 points of threat for that complication range.
Oh god. So Hector just runs over, so I hope you're sure about this, Stuart. Oh shit, this is gonna hurt. And just grabs one of the plasma tubes and just pulls it out.
Okay, give me the roll.
What was it? Sorry?
Fitness
Security? No.
fitness plus engineering, and you have a complication range of 3.
I don't have a value anymore. I would like to buy a third die if possible.
That's possible.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty, I'm going to call this... I'm going to say it's 3. And you have 3
yeah,
points
definitely.
of momentum as well. The
we
number
have
3
3
keeps
points.
coming up. Clearly a reference
Yeah.
to Shira.
Oh god, that's a big complication range. I'm scared.
It will be terribly funny if we get the complication!
God damn.
You guys...
So I'm rolling really bad today.
You can buy it off if you want. Otherwise, we can go with the narrative and
We can't
complete
buy
the
it now.
thing.
He has determination.
Can we use momentum to reroll? No, we can't, right?
no.
We can't. Well, we have 1 momentum left, so
No, we
Well,
have 2 momentum left.
yeah.
I used 1 momentum for an extra die, and we had 3, so we have 2 momentum.
okay.
We could buy it off completely, or we could give Zach a 2 threat.
Yep.
Just buy it off completely.
I leave the choice to you there, Felix. I will say
Yeah,
it would
it's up
be
to you.
real. It would
Can
be
I-
really funny.
Can I succeed at cost
Yes,
somehow?
I have a cost in mind.
Here we go. It's floating again.
I mean, I'm happy to buy off the complications so that at least we don't die, but I'm also happy to succeed at cost, if that works for you.
It almost does.
Oh god. Yeah, come on, hit me.
All right,
I can take it. I can take it.
Hector,
Fine.
with a Herculean effort, you pull out one of the tubes. It was still at the minimum of 4, and you hear in the background Caligo saying, "No, don't do that now. If you do," and you don't know what the rest of it is because this very hot plasma tube is in fact very hot. And you find that you can't hold it for very long as your hands are absolutely scorched. And you wind up dropping the tube, and it cracks right as it comes across the machine. The plasma spills out, bursting into the rest of the tube, and it creates a swirling mass as the explosion of it spreads out, engulfing you all in light. And so, we cut ahead as you all begin to come to. Once again, there's a blurry sensation, the feeling of like something beneath you, not the same buzzing sensation you had before, but nonetheless I'll say the sensation at least of solid mass beneath you, something softer than the floor was. And that is when we find ourselves stand by. When all of you come to, you're in sickbay. Oh, all right then. Dr. Lambert says, I think that looks like the worst of them are coming through it now, Captain.
Good.
Oh. Hi, everyone. I should be waking up now. That's good. Now, do you all want to explain yourselves here?
Minibot, is Minibot okay?
I don't think that's the first thing we need to worry about now.
Am I there too?
Mora is not in the room.
Okay.
No,
What do you-
more.
What do you mean? What happened?
Yep. We're gonna ask you the
My
same thing.
fate
What
is
did you do?
Inexorably tied with Minibot.
No, enough. Ensign Tally, perhaps you can explain.
What was our condition when you found us?
You were in the science lab. All of you fell over after you blew out some bit of equipment. I think somebody miscalibrated the data laser that we inputted, Ensign.
I was just following my instructions to the letter. However, I recall things going a bit differently. Isn't that right, Tavashi? Stuart?
Yeah, a lot differently. You're saying we just fell over? We didn't disappear?
How? Excuse me, sirs, but how long have we been out?
Well, I came back after the alert sounded. You've probably been out for about a half hour.
A half hour.
Are my hands okay? I'm too scared to look.
Yeah. Hector, you
what's the
feel
last-
around.
No, I said it out loud. I said it out loud. It's just like
Yeah.
it's into the room. It's like, are my hands okay? I'm too scared to look.
Wait,
Yep.
I'm not burned?
Tally, you are not burned.
Finally, I'm prettier than him again. Anyway,
Yep. Lambeth will say, "Oh yeah, you might have a little bit of a mild bruise and a bit of pain. I could give you something for that, but also seems like some of your digestive tracts are a little out of sorts. Probably should steer clear of the galley right away, or at least the specials.
Didn't
Anything.
handle the Klingon food very well from El Watso, huh? This is the captain.
To be fair, I didn't handle it well either, Captain. But yeah,
It's a quiet taste.
yeah, you all just kind of took mild injuries from falling over. You should be back.
What about your hands? Sorry.
Oh.
Go ahead. Continue. That's out of character. Go ahead. Continue.
okay, so considering Tavashi did say Minibot, Stuart, Hector, do you remember Minibot too?
Yes.
Yes, think so.
And a crazy Tellarite?
Yeah.
The crew. Is the crew okay? Is everyone still here? Everyone accounted for?
Yeah, everyone's here, Ensign. You know, everyone's here on this part of the ship. Everyone's here everywhere else on the ship. You're all fine. And jeez, bumped into Mora on the way here. Somebody don't understand why she's carrying around a phaser rifle in the aft section of the ship. It's not a firing range.
Do I
out there.
still have my medical scanner?
Yeah, all your equipment is on you. Alvarez, that includes your phase pistol and scanner, the communicator Tavashi that you gave up earlier. Everybody has what they came with.
Wait, do I still have
The recording.
the recording? Yeah, do I still have the recording? I'm checking if I still have the recording.
There is no recording.
No!
Is something wrong? The captain says, looking at the twins.
Did you lose it too?
Yeah, it's done.
We had a recording of something.
We will look. We'll confront him later and talk about it. It'll add.
Look, Captain, this is real interesting and all, or I guess it's at least good to know everybody's conscious and not about to conjure up frogs or whatever the hell that thing did the last time. But I've got some more interesting things to do. So, Doctor, once they're clear for
For the
duty,
moment, the captain raised a hand. For the moment, Lieutenant, I want a full accounting of what has happened here, a report to me, and a report from all your current team. She gestures to the people in the med bay. And until I have a full understanding that everyone is safe, sound, and nothing further awkward is going to happen, I'm closing up Soral's room again for the moment.
very well. I'll get most of that gear packed up, and we'll have an incident report out to you soon. Anyway.
Is there anything else, Doctor?
Oh no. I'll just say, maybe let them take a little bit of rest. They sound a bit disoriented. What about the miniature robots and other things?
Their shifts will be covered. The rest of you can take the night off. You understand? The captain says to everybody.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, the captain says, looking over at the person.
Sir. Lots of weird things happen.
She'll just nod, look over to the lieutenant with a bit of an eye squint, and then just walk away, leave.
Yep. For her part, Lieutenant Melnyuk will not give you the time of day either, so she'll just walk out, leaving the lower deckers amongst themselves. Lambeth will also say, all right, yeah, just take it easy, take some rest. For the rest of you, Xantar will not be saying anything, but he is going to pull out disinfectant and wipe down his scanner repeatedly.
Stewart just lays back, because this is probably like, out of everything, she gets a day off. That's nice. But then she thinks about it for a moment and says, hey, guys, can you just start writing your incident report right now? So I have to, since I probably have to deal with it, collect it later.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Am I the only one that's going to be looking for that robot?
I don't. You, even if it is real, I doubt you'll literally be able to find it or touch it.
So they didn't come with us.
If they exist in the first place.
I mean, they knew things that I didn't know.
Maybe they were actually ghosts.
Psychic collective dream, maybe? I don't know.
No, I should have thought about it. She sighed. You were messing with the Zerillian crystals, right? Or one of them, collection of them?
I think so.
I think we just saw a story. Collectively.
I didn't enjoy that story. Except for the robot.
Minibot.
Callie, could you make a mini-bot?
Maybe? Why would we ever want something for that? I don't know.
Did you see how useful he was? I would love to have him as an assistant.
I think back to when I was seeing the three of you lift that fuck. No.
Yeah. I think
Well, he's useful. You drop him on people.
Useful.
I think that this is the note where, like, as you all start laughing, we take the lighthearted sort of zoom out as the lower deckers get the opportunity for relief.
Hector, your hands are still there. You don't need to keep looking at them.
I just, you know what? I think I'm going to stay away from plasma for a while, like ever. I think that's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
Elsewhere in the ship, as we close out, sometime later, Lieutenant Melnyuk is wrapping up the last of the work that is being done in the lab. And as she does, she grabs the last piece of equipment. She looks at it again with a bit of notice as she runs through data on the device. It is an Earth scanner that was augmented some time ago, this time with an expanded data core of sorts, something Melnyuk had already been reviewing with some interest. As she looks through the most recent program, she sees a detailed, very detailed set of, information parameters. At the top of it, listed under Project Panic. And that is where we are going to end today's session. So for those joining us in the archive, thank you all for coming in with us. We are going to leave you off here. You ever want to catch us live? We air at Saturdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and starting next week back to our normal 6 p.m. GMT time. So we will see you later. Till then, have a good day.